can just start. It might give you a thing to agree.
Definitely.
So yeah, so the reason that I came up with the framework is just to try and help explain a little bit about how the coaching process works, because unless you've had some coaching, it's really hard to understand what you're going to go through. So the idea of it is that you kind of go through these different phases of the coaching process, digging a little bit more deeply in some cases, but also just focusing your attention in slightly different areas to help you to get to a point where you've got that clarity, you've got that confidence, you've got, that sense of direction and purpose, and you know what it is that you want to go and do. And then the kind of skills to be able to go, okay, what do I actually have to do now with it in order to make it a reality? Because quite a lot of people will have a grand idea, but they don't necessarily put it into action, or their fears get in the way. So the idea of the framework is it takes you through the whole process, all the way through that exploration at the beginning, all the way through to actually making stuff happen and implementing in your life. So I've tried and tested it with lots of different kinds of people in different coaching situations, and we'll go through these 4 sessions with a focus on each of the 4 areas, which I'll describe shortly. And then the idea is just we use that as a bit of a loose framework. It's not a kind of rigid, we've got to go through set questions kind of approach. It's more of a, we take that kind of overall structure, the frame, and kind of go, okay, well, what does that look like for Wendy's life? And what does that mean? And what does that let us understand about you and where you're at and what needs to happen? Because it gives us a bit of clarity then to where we focus our time, our coaching conversation, give you the shifts and the insights that you want to have. And then hopefully over the course of the next 4 sessions, all will become clear. You'll feel confident and ready to get on with the next phase of your life. How's it sounding so far?
That sounds amazing. And that's exactly what I need. I feel like I am in a bit of a rut. So I need to reach that point.
Yeah, lovely. Well, hopefully, I feel really quite confident that over the course of the next 4 sessions, you will feel better about that.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that with any sense of arrogance. I just know that this is putting the attention on yourself, giving yourself the time and the headspace, and then having somebody else to support that conversation, challenge, give some different perspectives, ask those questions that look deeper and make you really think about things. That will help you to, for it all to be a catalyst.
Brilliant.
So, you've already had a copy, I think, of the framework. So you've got these 4 different stages. We've got discovery, first of all. And what discovery is about, it's about really digging into who you are today, but also who would you really like to be? What is important to you? Where are you going in your life? And what is also going on for you that is stopping you from being the person that you want to be? Quite a lot of us will have a sense of, this is me at my best, but that's not how I am most of the time or some of the time. I might be, like a slightly less less articulate for me today. I might be a slightly worse version of myself, and I know that I can be better. Sometimes I am better, but what's the difference between how I am some of the time and how I'd like to be? So we're going to focus today around the discovery piece, and really kind of dig into who you are and what you want and what's your struggle, what's getting in the way of that. And then what we'll do next time is we'll focus more on what's missing, what you need to develop in terms of skills, capabilities, confidence, in order to bridge that gap. So we can say, okay, what's missing in terms of the things that we've identified that we can work on are going to help you to have what you need in your toolkit to be able to go and do it. And then the next piece is about design, which is about what's the life that you actually really want to live? What kind of relationships do you want to have? What kind of work do you want to have? What kind of health do you want to have? All of those kinds of things we might plan out in that space. So, where are we going? But also, what does that really look like? And that's where we get into that imagination space, the visualization space about, this is me at my best, what I could make happen. And then the final stage is about daring to go and do those things. Something seems to go wrong here for quite a lot of people, where they've got a great idea and a great kind of visualization of what they want the future to be like, but all of their fears, their anxieties, or maybe their unhealthy patterns, whatever it is, kind of bubble up here. So if we can resolve lots of this more tricky stuff at the end, then that's what sort of helps us get rid of those blocks that are in our way. So that's the kind of whole process. And today we'll start with the discovery piece. What it also means is that there's a bit of a time gap, obviously, between the sessions where we do today and then next week or whatever. So just kind of be really kind and compassionate to yourself in the gaps, and just know that you're in a process, and that sometimes it might feel a little bit uncomfortable because we're digging into stuff, but we might not have actually resolved it fully.
Yeah.
So just be kind to yourself, try and give yourself that kind of patience, and then just allow the next stage to happen. Trust the process. It all comes together.
Yeah.
Okay. How does that sound as an explanation? Any questions?
No, that is so straightforward. And I can, because I like a process driven world, then I can see how it moves from stage to stage. So yeah, love that idea.
Lovely. Okay, great. It isn't like, it's not a rigid
No.
stage by stage, though. It might be that we kind of visit one thing and then go back, but just broadly speaking, we'll take that approach. So brilliant. Okay, so what would be a really nice place to start, Wendy, would be describe a little bit to me about how things are feeling for you in life right now.
Yeah.
What is it that has made you go, this coaching would be helpful for me right now?
Yeah. So yeah, I do just feel like I'm in a rut at the moment, and I'm not helping myself. I'm almost like, I don't know, it feels like maybe punishing myself a little bit. Because I'm doing things against my better judgment, and I'm like, I'm almost trying to prevent myself from moving on. I'm holding myself back because, yeah, it's funny because of it does boil back to losing my cat. And it's funny because I've lost other cats, but this is like a really different situation for some reason. And I always think I've had a very blessed life. I've hardly had any bad things ever happen to me in my life. I've been very lucky, and I've had a lot of joy. But this just hit me like a ton of bricks.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think I need to I need to move on, but inside me there's something too scared to let go. And so it's like, no, stay here. It's like trying to keep me calm and keep me here. But in fact, it really needs to let me move on and keep progressing, as opposed to just sort of here and stagnating.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So it sounds a bit like so you know that you're quite stuck. You said you're in a bit of a rut at the moment, but also that you're not wanting to let go, like,
Yeah.
which implies to me that there's a choice about whether or not you let go. Is that how you see it? Tell me a bit about what letting go would look like. What would that mean to you?
Well, it's funny because after I had a chat with you before, I felt like I started to come to terms with it, because losing him felt like, it felt wrong, like it was very unfair, and that I shouldn't have lost him. And I thought to myself, I felt like I started to go into like acceptance of the whole thing, but then acceptance felt like I was forgetting about him a little bit, and like losing the memory of him. And then I thought, no, I don't want to do that. So I kind of went straight back to where I was, and like almost kept hold of the anger for the unfairness, because that way it kept him fresh. So yeah, it's a really weird situation, but I know that actually when I started to accept, I felt better. Felt a little bit more in control again. It's almost like I'm letting it control me instead of me controlling it. I just realised I didn't have any tissues in my room today.
Do you want to go get some?
I'm going to just quickly grab one.
Yeah.
1 second. That is a lack of planning.
There we go. Easily sorted, though. Easily sorted. So what would happen if you accepted?
Oh, it's funny because I feel like he would go out of my mind. Or what would happen? Probably what would happen is that I would be able to think of him and it wouldn't hurt. Which is like probably what you'd like to aim for, which is where you'd like to be. But at the moment, it feels like I almost, the hurt means something, you know?
What does the hurt mean?
I think it means love. Because the other, like accepting almost feels like indifference. And I don't want to feel indifferent. I want to feel something. But I can't can't separate the love and the pain thing. It's tough. It's like really.
What if you can't separate love and pain? What if it is two sides of the same coin? What if they are inseparable?
Then it just feels a bit like, oh, yeah, oh, that scares me a bit because I don't want to feel this pain because I'm so not used to it and it's so not my general state. And yeah, I want to throw it off, but oh, if the love and the pain are linked, then I can't. It's like, oh, I just want to, just want to feel the love for him. And none of the horrible stuff.
What's the horrible stuff?
Sort of the anger and the why did this have to happen to him? And he was supposed to live for ages, but the universe had different ideas, and you just think, oh. And you feel a bit resentful of other people who've like got cats that live till they're like 20. And you think, why couldn't mine live till 20? And you just, yeah. Instead of just being happy for, this is the thing, most of my life I would have been like a person who, oh my God, your cat lived to 20. Oh, how wonderful, you know, how lovely and happy. But like you were saying earlier about sometimes there's things inside you which don't feel like the real you. And that's what's inside me at the moment. It's like, well, why didn't I get that? You know, and I'm like jealous and angry and all those things which I just don't normally have in myself. Yeah, those are the things I need to get rid of.
Get rid of because
they do me no good. And this is where I like then start to I just sort of get a bit belligerent and like I'm eating food like it's going out of fashion and literally eating all the bad food as well, not anything nutritious, nothing good for me. And so therefore I'm putting on weight and I feel sluggish and I just, none of my clothes are fitting anymore, or I can still get into them, but they're not comfortable and all that sort of stuff. And I just think, oh, why am I doing this to myself now? And so I suppose it's just another thing that then gets angry and causes more anger, then links back to it. And it's just think, why did you take him? Because look what you've done to me. It's like I'm blaming someone else or something else, even though it's really anything.
Yeah, who are you blaming?
I know, I don't know, like some sort of unknown entity. If I was religious, it would probably be God, but I'm not religious, so it's just the idea that there's some sort of more powerful thing out there than me.
And if that entity could make it right, what would they do?
Give him back. But I also have that conversation with myself because I know that he was unwell. So I think, what if on the day I'd said, no, don't put him to sleep, I'm taking him home, I would have just been keeping him alive for me. That wouldn't have been very fair on him. It would have been awful for him. And so I did the right thing. I suppose, in a way, that's it. I'm blaming myself. That's the entity. I'm blaming myself for it. But I know I did the right thing.
What are you blaming yourself for?
For having him put to sleep. Because he would have never withstood the treatment because he hated it. He absolutely hated being in the vets. And I think about it now, and I think he was so unwell. I couldn't see it because I was looking for the positives all the time. I always looking better. He's feeling better, and I got a little bit more out of him today, and looking for all the good stuff. But no, it was the right thing to do. If I'd brought him home, he would have he could have died in my arms or something. It would have been horrible. So at least, as it was, he just went peacefully. He just made them go to sleep, and then that's it.
So he didn't enjoy the treatment. He hated the treatment.
Yeah.
Wasn't very well. And he was suffering.
Yeah, I think so.
So you took an incredibly difficult decision, but you were doing the right thing by him because what would have happened if you hadn't have taken that decision? Or if you'd have decided to bring him home, what would have happened then?
We might have got another couple of days or something, but that's the thing. I don't know. He might have had heart failure, or he could have. Yeah, I would hate to think that he would have had any pain or anything, or because he'd really swollen up with water. So something that was going wrong inside him, that he was literally just filled with fluid. And that would have carried on. I can't see any reason why that would have suddenly resolved itself, because it was just progressively getting worse. And bless his little cons.
So bad. Yeah, so helping him to die a dignified, pain-free death.
Yeah. It was the right thing to do. Definitely.
So what's the blaming yourself piece?
Well, because then I think to myself, maybe I should have got him some vet care earlier. Maybe I should have, should have seen the signs a bit earlier, or did I miss something? Did I was I a bad mum? Sort of all that stuff. I just feel like I'm trying to gloss over that at the moment, trying to gloss over that idea that actually there's something I did. It could have, or something I didn't do. It could have prevented it. Yeah. I think it's guilt. Feeling of guilt. Actually, if I had. We rarely take our animals to the vets, in all honesty, because they don't like it. It makes them stressed. They're very free animals. They come and go out in and out of the house as they like. And we don't like to sort of over medicate them and do loads of stuff. They go once a year for checkups, and they end up going twice a year because they have to have a checkup for their flea treatment. But outside of that, we just basically let them live their lives. Which is like, but I see some people and they're so good, they like take their animal to the vet straight away as soon as they think that there's any problems and all of this. But I don't know, I just don't think my babies would like it. So yeah, it's probably a good job I never had humans. We never taken them to the doctor. We're like, yeah, no, you're all right.
But you did the best you can do. That's what I'm hearing from you. You did the best. You did the best by your babies. You did what you could do.
Yeah.
What more, in with the benefit of hindsight, and I don't even know if this is a helpful question, but with the benefit of hindsight, was there anything that you would do differently? Or like you've got a new cat now.
Yes.
Would you do anything differently this time?
Well, it's funny because I look at him and I'm like, I'm thinking, is he all right? Has he lost any weight? Is he like struggling or anything? And is he? But he's absolutely jumping fit. You know, he can do whatever he likes. He's just sitting on the windowsill over there, so that's why I keep looking at him. Yeah. No, it's not going to change the way I am. I'm not going to be like popping him to the vet every few days, like saying that there's something different about him. But yeah, he has a great life. And my husband was really good because he said to me at the time, he said, that cat, like Folks, the one we lost, he said, that cat's only ever known love. That's all he ever knew in his life. And you just think, yeah, actually, that's all you ever want, isn't it? So he never got in trouble. Well, he did get in trouble a few times, but it would only ever be like a little shout, and then he'd be forgiven straight away. So,
what more would you want for a cat? What more would you want?
Exactly. Yeah. No, he did. He had the best life. It was just a little bit too short. That's all.
Yeah. So when you talk about it, how did your feelings change?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I feel the release when I talk about it because I don't talk about it with anyone else. I only talk about it with you. And everyone else, I just gloss over it. So just like people will say, oh, well, actually, I think everyone thinks or expects that you're over it by now. And I don't like to talk to my husband about it because I don't like to upset him. But yeah, and so I put on like a little mask all the time and keep my emotions in check. But so a load of time I'll be walking home from work or out on my walk and I'll just think about him and I'll just like start to cry. And then I'm like, oh God, no, someone's going to see me. And then like you have to stop and you just push it back under again and then you carry on walking. And then it might be later that evening or something, I'll go to bed and I'll catch sight of this picture and I'll be like, I'll start to cry again. I push it under because I've got to go to sleep. And so I just have this all the time, pushing it under, keep it, pops up, push it under, do that.
And what will happen if you just keep doing that, pushing it under, pushing it under, pushing it under?
Well, I don't think it'll ever go. I think I'll just end up doing that for the rest of my life.
How do you feel about that?
Oh, it's tiring. And it's just, and also it impacts everything else because yeah, it comes back to that whole thing where while I'm putting all my energy into doing that, I'm not doing any of the other things that would take me forward, you know. It's like all my energy goes into doing that all the time.
Mm.
And I'm like, knackered.
Mm. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
What would it mean to not push it down? What if you didn't push it down? What might happen?
Oh God. I might spend like big long times crying. But yeah, maybe that's what I need to do. I don't know. Because actually, when I do just let myself cry, you cry yourself out. And then it's like, you feel like a sort of exhale moment. And then you're like, right, and you can carry on. Yeah. So maybe I need to just, maybe I do need to release that pressure a bit more. And then that might dissipate it. Whereas at the moment, I'm just keeping it the same energy in the bottle, aren't I? Like putting the lid back on.
Mm. Yeah, exactly. It's almost like it's putting a stopper in a volcano,
Yeah.
isn't it? Pushing it back down, pushing it back down. It will keep on coming up
Yeah.
because, I mean, what do you think that emotion? I mean, I'm assuming it's sadness, it's
Yeah.
grief. What do you think that emotion, if it had a message for you, what would that message be? What does it want you to pay attention to?
Oh, I don't know. It just feels like it just wants to hurt me. That's all it feels like at the moment is almost like some sort of penance or like, yeah, there isn't, I don't think there's anything positive about it.
And if it was penance,
Yeah.
what would that be? What would that be for?
For that, for the whole thing of like thinking, did I do enough? It's like paying the price for the guilt sort of thing, like serving your jail term for what I perceive to be failings.
Right, okay. So if you had a jail term to serve
Yeah.
and had an amount of time on it, how much time would you say the jail term should be?
Oh God. I think with my other cats, I've always had a little feeling of guilt. Like, is there something I could have done when they've passed away? But it's lasted maybe maximum 4 or 5 months. But now I'm into like the 8th month since Fugs passed, and it doesn't feel like I'm anywhere near the end. That like this could go on for years. So it's like, yeah. So I don't know.
That jail sentence could be years.
Yeah. Yeah. As opposed to months.
Wow, so it's quite a big penance, quite a lot of penance to pay.
Yeah.
Is it proportionate to the crime?
No, it's not really because I haven't really done a crime, It's just I don't know why I can't convince the part of myself that thinks I have that I haven't. And so yeah, I've got this like internal little thing going on where, yeah, one part says, God, you are terrible, you should have looked after him, you should have done more, and therefore you are guilty. And the other side's going, no, but you gave him a lovely life and he had a great time and all that, the nice side and the horrible side doing their battle. I've just got to quell the nasty voice and just say, no, I didn't.
What's the positive intent of that nasty voice?
Maybe it is to make me realise that I didn't do anything wrong. So maybe it's that sort of side, or that voice that says, you know, maybe it's like the devil's advocate, you know, and actually you need to say, no, you are wrong this time. But it's like, if I don't ask myself the question, then will I ever accept the answer? You know, I do have to, like, you do have to challenge yourself. I do challenge myself quite a lot in terms of what I think about things and just in everyday life. And I think I'm always like, yeah, more. My brain is always mulling over everything that I do and thinking, is that the right thing to do? Is that the right thing to have said? And does that all the time. And so I suppose it's just a bit of an extension of that, but it's like a really powerful one. And yeah, just feels like, yeah, get rid of the nasty side.
If you got rid of it, what would stop? What would be missing?
I think if I got rid of the nasty side, I think I would start being nicer to myself and not like self-sabotaging and doing all of the, you know, I'd actually be thinking, right, no, do what's right for you, makes you feel good, you know, don't eat the other cake and don't have all this, that, and the other, and yeah, all the stuff that I know makes me feel crap that I do every day.
Is that part of penance?
It's funny, isn't it? Because it's like, it's almost like I'm treating myself, but actually I'm not, because I'm not treating myself to the nice things. I'm treating myself to things that might give me a millisecond of joy, but then 4 hours of loathing, because it's like, oh, you know, you're going to feel crap tomorrow now.
So why would you do something? What would be the reason that you would prefer to do that you would prefer to do the thing that only gives you a split second of joy? What would be going on?
Yeah, it's funny. It's like yesterday, I because it was my birthday last week, I had like loads of vouchers come through for like a free donut, a free piece of cake at like Nero and Starbucks and all that sort of stuff. And yesterday, I didn't even really want it, but I thought, oh, I'm going to go and get my Nero free birthday cake. And I took it back to the office and I'm like eating it. And I'm eating it so quickly, I'm not really tasting it or having the flavour of it. And then I finished it and I thought, oh, why should you do that? You could have taken it home. You could have had it tonight when you got home, or you could have actually like really enjoyed it and or saved it for today when I haven't got a cake, you know, or but I just, yeah, it's like, no, got to get that done. Got to get that finished and out of the way.
Okay, so
really nice
it would be, you want to get it out of the way, even though you don't really want it particularly, you want to get it out of the way. So what's the similarity between that situation with the cake and the situation with the grief?
Yeah, I want to get it out of the way.
Want to get it out of the way, yeah.
Yeah, it's that same sort of thing of like, yeah, I always do like to feel like I get things done. I don't like to let things fester. And it's like, yeah, get it done, get it dusted, off your list, sort of thing. But this grief thing feels too big to get it off the list, you know. It's like it's just there all the time. And you never quite finish it and you never quite move past it. But I need to, yeah, I can't see the end of it. that's the trouble. I can't see the end in sight.
Yeah, because it's too big.
Yeah. Whereas a piece of cake, you can see the end of it. So you're like, yeah, oh, finished, well done.
Yeah, so it's easier to do that. You can get that done. It gives you a feeling of what once you've had it, like maybe not physical satisfaction, but does it make you feel good because you've had it?
Yeah, it makes me feel good because I'm like, oh, good, you had your free cake. You know, you didn't waste it, or you didn't, like, you know, you used your voucher, well done. Like, those are the sorts of achievements in my little list of things at the moment. And actually, they're the wrong achievements. They're not the achievements that I want to do.
So what are the achievements you really want to do? What is more important to you than the voucher?
I think I'd love to get a little bit more focused on my work again. Because I feel like I'm not giving that the attention that I normally would. And I actually get a lot of fulfillment out of that, out of work. But I don't know, again, it's almost like self-sabotagey type thing, in that I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do, you know, just letting things slide, not being as in control of them as I normally like to be. And I think, why am I not focusing on it as much as I would?
What's the thing with the control?
I love control. I just, when I'm feeling in control of everything, that's when I'm at my best. And yeah, because like my job is to basically coordinate everything and coordinate people and tasks. When I feel like I've got firm hands on the reins for that, then that's when I'm at my best. Go as I would expect them to, and there's no surprises, or if there are surprises, they come up, but you've got the energy to deal with them because everything else is going as well as it should. But at the moment, I feel like I've got loose hands on the reins, and so I could be thrown a curveball at any point. And I'm not quite going to be on my game by those curveballs because, I'm not giving that the attention that I should.
And when you are out of control, how does that make you feel?
It just makes me feel a bit like it makes the good part of me feel nervous, like like anxiety and all that sort of stuff. But it makes the bad side of me feel like Sodom. Like, no, you're all right, you can deal with it, you've dealt with other stuff before, don't worry, you'll be fine. And like the bad side just really encourages me to do it.
So how much of this whole situation around grief and cake and work is actually related to control? Who's in control?
So all of it is related to control, really. But the trouble is, I don't feel like I'm in control. I feel like something else is controlling me.
And how do you feel about that?
Oh, I don't like it.
I felt that.
Yeah. Oh, no, I don't like the idea of that at all. Yeah. And no one would ever want that for anyone else, would they? You know, everyone should be in control of themselves and their own destiny. And I feel like I've just checked out a bit, given it over to something else. But I don't know what that thing is. Yeah.
But it kind of makes sense to
Yeah.
me to do that. I mean, the one thing we can't control is death, isn't it?
Yeah.
Death of a loved one. It's happening. There's so little we can do about it. I'm wondering whether what's happened with Fugs has sort of triggered a load of other need to be in control. What can I control?
Yeah.
Because we couldn't control that really
Yeah.
bit. What do you think when I say that? What's coming up for you?
In a way, actually, it's almost like it's triggered a giveaway control.
Mm.
It's like I've got no control over what I'm eating at the moment. I've got no control over what I'm doing at work.
Mm.
And I've got this like grief thing just there. It's almost like I've gone FUCK control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? What do you think about that insight? You've given away control.
I don't like it.
So what are you doing?
I know. Oh,
Going on?
oh, yeah, it's so weird. Why would I, someone who loves control, just absolutely chuck it away? Yeah,
Yeah, what might be going on there? It's an interesting one, isn't it?
yeah,
What does giving away control, giving up control give you?
absolutely nothing.
Mm.
If anything, it just takes me to a bad place.
Mm.
Whereas when I have control, that's when I'm in my best place.
Mm. Okay, so what have you got control of? Give me some examples, even if they seem a bit whatever, it doesn't even matter what they are. Give me some
Uh,
examples of what you do still have control of.
Housework.
Yeah.
So the one who does it.
Yeah, and you are doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so good. You've got control of that. What else have you got control over? Where are you using control?
The only thing that at the moment that I am really exerting elements of control is the purse strings.
Mm-hmm.
So I am like, because I changed jobs and I took like quite a big pay cut, and Rob's work, aren't sure now whether he's going to be made redundant and stuff like that. That's all in the pipeline. But so I've been very good with, yeah, very good with thinking, do I really need to spend this? Do I really need to buy this?
Mm.
And like actually having control over it, which is exactly what I did before when I lost the weight, but with food. And it was like, do I really need to eat this? Is this the thing that's gonna, is it essential to me? Is it, is it going to nourish me? So exactly those thoughts, but I've transferred them into monetary spending.
Mm.
So that's the only part of my life at the moment I probably feel like I've got the elements of controlling that I like. And I have that like little buzz, which I actually used to get. So because I go for my daily walk and I walk around, I will go past several things where I could go in and buy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if I get all the way around my walk and I haven't like bought anything, I think, oh, that's like a nice little bit of money saved. And like with the food, it always used to be, if I would go somewhere and someone would offer me something and I go, no, I'm fine, thank you. And I'd be like, ooh, that's a biscuit I haven't eaten. Or that's 2 calories that are still in my logger for the day. I could spend that on something else. And so it's almost identical behavior, the money side of things and the food side of things. So yeah.
So what? Yeah, I love that. So what's going on there that means that you've been able to get control of that and you're enjoying having control of that?
I think it's the external forces. So it's that whole thing of like, right, okay, so you only have this much money coming in every month, and that could change. So, you have to pull your socks up and, do the right thing.
Mm.
It's like something switched on. And I do you know what as well? I think it's because it might be because it's easy. It's an easy thing to do, because you can control quite easily what you spend. Eating's a little bit harder because you have to eat every day, whereas you don't have to spend every day. But yeah, it's probably I've probably drifted to what's one of the easiest things to do,
Mm-hmm.
and just put all my efforts in there. And you see the rewards like straight away, because by the end of the week you'll be like, oh, my bank account balance has hardly gone down at all. You almost like see it straight, immediate effects, results.
What's the parallel between that and food?
Yeah, so the same thing, like, at the end of the week you see the scales going down. If you've got the control in the food area, then you see the scales weight going down, and like, and you can give yourself that, like, oh, well done. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's reassuring to hear that there's some control in some areas though, right? So you said you're in control of the housework, you're in control of money. Is there any other areas where you know that you're in control, it feels good?
No.
So those two.
Yeah. That's bad. I don't even really like the housework thing. It's like been forced upon me.
Who is in control of you getting out of bed in the morning?
Oh, that's me. Yeah.
Who is in control of what you're having for dinner?
That is me, but that's the nasty side of me, that's just like, oh, go to the fridge and get whatever's the easiest. Like the no effort, no. Least. So I don't really feel like I have any control there, because if I was in control, I would be actually having a proper dinner, not just like last night. I got home from having my hair done, and I had 2 pieces of toast, a chocolate mousse, a bowl of cereal, and what else did I have? Oh, and a hot cross bun. Like, absolutely zero nutritional benefit or anything in that food whatsoever. And I'm like, why did I do that? But it was just because it was easy, quick, and just, I thought, oh, well, you've had something to eat now, so you're all right.
So tell me how you would like things to be. If we could wave a magic wand and make everything better, and in another few sessions time, this was all feeling a whole lot better, what would that look like?
I think that would be, I think the grief would have dissipated a bit, at least, because I know it might not be that quick. But I think I'd be feeling the same way about food as I am about money at the moment, so that I'd have the control back in the food side of things. And and also I would feel that same sort of level of control at work, so that I'm on top of it all, and I know exactly where everything's at, and we're delivering stuff. That's when I'm happy, is when we're actually delivering stuff.
Delivering stuff. That's what I'm writing down. Technical term.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what we are going to work towards. What will happen if none of those things progress at all over the next few weeks? What will happen, or how will you feel?
I think I'll feel exactly the same way as I did at the start of this call, which is just that pushing down all the time way. Yeah.
So what do we need to remember as we go through the next few weeks together?
I think we have to, I have to remember the feeling that I want to have. And I have to remember that I have to remember to be kind to myself. And also I have to remember that I didn't do anything wrong. Yeah.
Am I allowed to add one more?
Yes.
That it's all a bit of a process.
Yes.
And these things take time. They take as long as they take.
Yes, trust in the process.
Trust in the process. Yeah.
Hard
as that is. Okay, let's leave that there. Next time we will move on to exploring a little bit about, so today we've covered really nicely how you're feeling right now, where you are, and getting that sense of where you want to be in the future. So next time what we'll do is we'll be thinking much more about, okay, how do we bridge the gap? What is it that's missing or we need more of, or we can do to help make that something that is achievable? What can we do that's going to help us move in that direction? We might not fully get there, we might get farther, who knows, but we're going to have a go at what's the bridge.
Brilliant. That sounds amazing. I already feel better. So I can't, this is the journey I need to be on, so I can't wait to keep moving through it.
Lovely. And lots of self-love, compassion, kindness, fresh air, exercise, water, all that. That good stuff too. Take care.
Yeah.
Lovely.